correcting myself. I want so many people to hear your message because you've
Mm,
really been the key person in the way you teach to make those shifts for me,
mm,
and I would wish this transformation for millions, not just
cool.
thousands. So
That's good. Yeah, I think we come in with the good energy, with like really good energy into this call already, and people will notice
yeah,
that. So let's do it. All right.
let's do it.
It's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com. And as you can see today, I have Sophia with me. Sophia is a really amazing business owner, and she is a member of my business entrepreneur mastermind. And today we would like to do an interview together where I'm going to ask her some questions on her business success, on money mindset, on hustle culture, on how Neville's teachings really helped her to, gain really massive business success. And she is increasing her business success. So, Sophia, would you first of all like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, Nicholas. Wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me. As you know, my name is Sophia. I am a web designer based in the southeast of the United States, and I'm happy to share what I have learned.
Yeah, really cool, really cool. It's so nice that so many amazing people come together, and the middle point is always like Neville's teachings, manifesting, mindset. It's a big topic in all life areas. Now, we chatted a little bit before the interview, and you also mentioned that your manifesting journey, your Neville Goddard journey, was started when you wanted to like better your money mindset, better your finances, better your business income. So can you just tell us a little bit on how you get started, if you read books on Neville, just so that people know a little bit of your background from manifesting, and then we go through some interesting topics.
Yes, absolutely. I have been on this journey of changing my money mindset for years now. I became self-employed in 2010, so almost 12 years ago. And I've been wanting to make my business successful. So I've been reading all kinds of different books on, increasing your money, changing your money mindset, your shifting your consciousness. And it was last year, about a year and a half ago, that I read Law and the Law and the Promise. I keep saying Law
Yeah.
and Order like the TV show, but the Law and the Promise. And that was a year and a half ago from Neville. It didn't really grab me as much at that
Hmm.
time. It made
Hmm.
some interesting points, but it was not, I wouldn't say it was life changing at that time, but it was just a seed that needed some time to grow. And
Yes.
then I continued to read more books. I read, other books, Denise Duffel Thomas and Wayne Dyer, and all kinds of different books. And I came across Neville's books again this last summer, and started to look at YouTube videos, and that's how I found you. So
Yes.
it was a couple of months before joining the mastermind.
Hmm. And then have you heard about the mastermind on YouTube, or have you discovered that later when we interacted, or have you seen this video where I talked about my business progression basically, and based on that, you wanted to learn more
Mhm.
about the mastermind, or how did that go?
Yes. So your YouTube videos have been very informative and very eye-opening in terms of changing our mindset, shifting our mindset. And then I saw that one video you made about this dramatic business success you achieved, and you showed stats, and you gave examples of how you made that transformation,
Mhm.
and you invited us to learn about the mastermind.
Yeah.
So that is where I got really curious. I
Mhm.
was like, this sounds like this could be for me. And then I
Yeah.
jumped on the call with you, and here we are.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for you to share the success you achieved. Maybe to uh, keep the audience waiting just for a little bit more, and then we will tell them what amazing things you achieved. One topic that we wanted to touch base on is this whole general money mindset shift that you went through. This whole topic of worthiness, like, do I deserve this? Can I really make more money? Can I really be this successful businesswoman and allow it to myself and all of that. So would you like to touch base on that? And then we go in the direction of what you actually like manifested in your business right now. But how has your mindset changed right now? Now that you went the mastermind, you applied Neville, you did those shifts. What happened to your general mindset?
My general mindset is much more open and in receiving mode.
Mm-hmm.
I am able to deal with everyday situations so much more easier. For example, just the other day, I made a proposal to a client for a project. It was a really big sum. I was really excited. It was about $8,000. And they sent me an email after a few weeks of review. Yesterday, I got the email that they don't want to work with me further. In the past, that would have made me so depressed. Oh my goodness, I really wanted this project, and this sense of real deep hurt and lack. Like what's happening. But because of Neville's teachings through you, not just the books that I've read on my own, but the way you've translated Neville's teachings in the Mastermind, I was able to recognize that my abundance is within me. There's more where this comes from. It's not coming from the outside, it's coming from the inside. And so there will be another client. I was calm and peaceful, and I even wrote her back, no worries, this is in divine order, all the best, And that's such a good way of being, just being lighthearted and being able to deal with what in the past would have been a traumatic rejection. Now I consider it just one of the many different stepping stones to where I want to be.
Perfect.
So that's one key change. The other thing I want to say is about the sense of worthiness. I think for me, it probably was one of the big obstacles in receiving abundance. And maybe this is true for a lot of women out there in the audience, probably other people as well. But I find that this worthiness issue can be a real challenge. In business as a service provider in the past, I would over deliver. If I have promised something, I would go really overboard just to make sure that the client is happy and not, going to this fear of, oh, they're going to ask for their money back. Let me just really floor them with a great performance. And that's not necessary. It stems from this inner sense of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. And understanding the teachings from you, the way you express it, I've been able to break through that. I even raised my prices, which was a big change.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And I think that's a great transition. So you first of all started to do the inner shifts, the mindset changed, you shifted yourself into a more like successful businesswoman kind of state. And therefore you increase your prices, all of those things happened. You became less attached to if there is a client here and there that says, no, sorry, I don't want to work with you. You didn't become really fearful and attach yourself to that. And now the interesting part, of course, is what happened in your business, right? What about the numbers, the shifts, the changes that you can really see in front of you? Because that's the inner stuff. But now what manifested, what changed in your business, in your revenue?
Yes, and before I jump into the numbers, which I'm very happy to share, I'm very transparent about sharing. And that's another thing I really was excited about coming onto this interview, is because there is this taboo about discussing your money numbers, you know? It's almost like, oh, don't talk about money, especially if you're making progress, like don't show off. But that's another mindset shift, right? But yeah, so what I wanted to highlight is how I got to these changes. So as I mentioned, I've been on this journey for a while, but the big shift, the big transformation has come in the mastermind because of listening to our collaboration calls that, anchor us every week, all the mastermind students, because we know Neville's teachings, but there's always another level of deepening it to make it really present in our body, in ourself, in our being. And the modules that you've very clearly laid out, even very eloquently express the teachings in your own words so that we can really grasp it. So I've been on this journey for a while and I've been visualizing, but the key difference, and maybe people in the audience can resonate with this, I was visualizing myself in my dream, or the goal that I had in mind in the future. Like I would see myself like a year in the future or 5 years in the future. So it was kind of distant. There was a separation between me here now and the dream in the future. So even though I felt like I was visualizing this, the results were not coming. And now I know why, because it was always going to be in the future. I had to make it in the present moment. And that is the slight, subtle shift in how one visualizes, how one gets into the end state here and now, being it now. Like you always say in the mastermind, be it now.
Yeah.
So that is what shifted my revenue, you know, in last year.
Cool. That's perfect.
So,
Before you now reveal the success, I love how you just put that out. That is amazingly, perfectly correct. And I always remember what Neville said: make the future dream a present fact, right? So you have this future dream, but if you let it be a future dream, or say, yeah, one day I will be this. One day I can have this. Yes. It can, on a very subtle level, still, like we always speak about in the mastermind, keep this desired state, this desired version of you, those desired revenue income levels at a distance, and we're not embodying them here now. And then we wonder why the business is not really progressing. And I love how you realize that, internalize that, and then made the shifts happen. So wonderful.
Yes, so key, you know. It's in the wordings, in the way we use language. Some people we may say, I know it's coming. My good is coming, my abundance is coming. Yeah, it's coming. It will always be coming in the future.
Yeah.
So we can, and I continuously have become aware of how I speak. As soon as I say something, I correct it and say, it's here now. It's already here. I'm already in abundance.
Yeah.
So language can also be a clue on how our mind, how our mindset is and how our thoughts are going. It reflects us, because sometimes it's not that obvious how we are thinking, but how we are speaking gives us some clues, and we can start shifting that, start changing that.
True. Yes. So you then joined the mastermind, like you said in the beginning of the interview, in November, I think it was last year, right? November last year. Then we worked together. And now if you look back, like how would you describe to someone that is listening that also wants to apply, you know, those manifesting principles, Neville's teachings for their business in that example, for their money situation, that example, how has your financial situation or your revenue like changed?
So yeah, let's get into the numbers, right? So
that's what some people are waiting for. Like now they're finally getting it.
Yeah. So I joined the mastermind in November. So the whole year of last year, my average monthly revenue hung around $8,000. So that, more or less, you know, sometimes it was a smaller revenue as a self-employed, you know, the revenue fluctuates, and that's pretty normal. So it was around 8,000. After I joined the mastermind, I actually note that I joined in the middle of November, right? So it was 2 weeks into November, and my revenue increased to 9K. So it was a good, nice increase. In December, it increased to 11K. And then January, it jumped to 22K, which is the biggest revenue month I've had in my entire business career. $22,000 in 1 month, which I can say now is almost triple of what I was averaging last year, right? So I can clearly see what has caused this. It's not that it's a new month and everybody wants new websites. Yeah, that plays a role in it. But the entire year I was last year kind of staying at a plateau, not really making those spikes, you know, moving forward that I wanted to. But now I have tripled my revenue. How? Externally, I didn't do anything really different. I was still applying to the same jobs, same client inquiries, doing the same consult calls. My marketing really didn't change. What changed was the internal shift, getting into the end state within. You know, you always ask us there's this question in the mastermind. You say, what would you do? What would it be like as a successful business owner? Going into those wish fulfilled states, you know, doing those exercises, acting from that end state in my day-to-day activities. Those changes internally, those mindset shifts that I did internally, I'm going to emphasize internally.
Yeah.
That is what I know caused the change externally, right? Because life is a mirror. It's mirroring what's inside your mind, the kind of mindset you have, the thoughts you're thinking, and the identity that you carry with you. So it's very clear now, you know, I have evidence, but I did not need the evidence. I had the evidence already internally. And that's one thing that I will highlight was really transformative, is going to the end state and experiencing the end state already now and feeling that joy, that relief, that contentment of already having it now, and not being concerned whether or not it happens externally. It's really, you know, a lot of myself included, I would be like, you know, we're doing this to get something in the external world, right? Like we want change in the external world. But to really get that, I needed to be in the mastermind to really understand that, no, we're doing this. It's not a means to an end, really. As soon as we are in the end state and experiencing the end state, it's already here. You're already feeling the joy, the relief, the satisfaction in this moment here and now.
Yes.
And the side effect will be that there's an external result, but that's not what we are aiming for.
Correct. Perfect. Yes. I love to hear that success story of yours again with all of those details. It's absolutely amazing. And really, like, think about that. Like, for me, I hear it, I love it, and I see those successes, I experience them myself, and to some degree it became normal, because I know that, of course, when someone does the inner shift, it needs to lead to a new external result, which you also perfectly have proven to yourself right now. But like, really, honestly, I just became aware of that again. Like, think about that. Like, you went for such a long time with like some certain revenue numbers, and then you said, I want more. I desire more. I want to double that. I want to tenfold that, whatever it might be. And then you started to do some inner shifts, like you like highlighted. You didn't try to force more out there. You just realigned yourself internally to a more successful state, to that more revenue is normal for you, and all sorts of those things. And then you actually had more clients coming to you. You actually had like almost a triple of your monthly revenue. And I think that's huge. You know, like, imagine there are business owners that go for, I just became aware of that because I also know some business owners that have physical businesses out there, like in my neighborhood and whatever. And they go for years with the same revenue, they're in the same plateau again and again and again. What they do in their mindset shift, they would also move forward. So it just showed me again how, amazing that actually is. Really great.
Yes, it's really amazing. And you remember in the mastermind, I was asking you, how do I figure out my next step? Like, what's the next action? And you would just come back and say, go in the end state, go in the end state. The action will come automatically. It will be an inspired action. As soon as we try to figure out, what do I have to do? Do I do this or that? Or doubts are appearing, or we're flip-flopping. Those are all signs that you're not in the end state.
Correct.
Because when you're in the end state, there is no question. These questions are not there anymore because you've already achieved, you're already there. So you reminded, and I think in the first few weeks, you reminded that every week for me to get it, because I was still in that hustle culture and the idea, you know, have to do things externally. Even though in my mind, I'm learning this new way of being, it was so ingrained in me that I was uncomfortable, you know, with the idea of not taking action. As a business owner, we take so many actions every day. To really then say, no, I don't have to take external actions. just get in the end state.
How did that felt for you when you saw, okay, you then tripled the revenue without really doing triple much of external work, of effort, of exhausting yourself? You just did your stuff, but then the revenue came. Like, how did that feel? That, like, seeing that actually playing out, that is not just a nice concept, but that this actually works.
Oh my goodness. Seeing that change so fast, I am convinced even more. I was convinced before, because you will get that conviction already by being in that wish fulfilled state in your visualizations in your mind. But then externally seeing the results was like, okay, now what more proof do you need?
Yeah.
And it showed me that if I, want to take my business from a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business, I don't have to do 10 times more work.
Yes.
Yes. And when I see successful business people who seemingly have plenty of time, they're never in a rush, they have lots of free time, they travel a lot. It's because of this way of being. It makes sense now why you are able to really change your entire lifestyle, and jumping revenue levels doesn't necessarily mean working like a dog,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
In your previous explanation, you also touch base on this term of hustle culture, and I don't want to go too much in depth on this topic, since we are like aiming for the opposite. Instead of hustling our ass off and exhausting ourselves, we want to do more the inner shifts to let the outside follow naturally without chasing and trying to change the mirror. But what's your, like, have you been in this hustle culture before you then consciously applied the law of assumption? Have you fallen for those subtle traps in there?
I would say honestly, yes. Even though I resisted, even before knowing that the hustle, and by hustle culture, just to be clear, what I mean is, working 25 hours out of 24, working like all the time, no rest, sacrificing your family, your health, doing whatever it takes, that kind of a mindset, right? I'm not against like dedication and perseverance and like really hustling in the sense of, yes, you'll make it happen with determination. I'm not against that, but I'm against this very unhealthy way of being, which is not nourishing to you or your family. And I would say, yes, I was kind of falling into that once in a while. Or if I wasn't, I would feel guilty. Like, I need to be on all social media, but I'm only managing one social media presence. Like, I'm not doing enough for my business. This trap of thinking that you're not putting enough effort, or I need to work harder. No pain, no gain. These kind of mentalities that would come back from time to time. And even now I am working that muscle. It's still a new muscle in my mind, that allow flow, allow ease, think from the end, be in the end state. We obsess so much about controlling external things, external events and people and situations, clients, marketing, social media. We try to influence all of that as a business owner, but those are side effects. Those things will happen as a result of you being in a new identity.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I love that you brought up this exact word. My next question to you would have be a question around identity and self-concept shift, because that is, of course, what we aim here to do, right? We're not aiming to manifest one new client or $1,000 more, right? We aim to shift us in a successful business owner state, identity, self-concept, so that we can always attract more clients, that people seek us, that we are wanted, that we can increase the prices and all of that. So if you look back to, I don't know, like, let's pick a random date, in the middle of last year to right now, can you feel that your self-concept and identity, like that you are seeing yourself in a new light, in a new way when it comes to being a business owner?
Yes, and I'm practicing that every single day, to to act from the successful business owner identity that I have in my mind, to embody that in my day-to-day activities. And of course, it's not all the time that I'm in there. I drop back. It's practice. It's a muscle to be strengthened. But I do see that there are changes in how I view life, how I view opportunities. You know, like just 5 months ago, if somebody had said that, you know, your business will grow, you will need new employees or support, I would have said, no, I'm a solopreneur. I'm doing this by myself and I cannot manage a team, you know? And now in January, I hired a new designer to join my team, which I had not planned for. I had not made like massive business plans and things like that. The situation arose. I saw the opportunity. It felt good. I went forward. So I think this flow of making decisions and being open to new opportunities as a business owner has come because of my new identity as a successful business owner. And I think that's very helpful as we make that change in how we see ourselves within, internally. It will influence how we show up in the world, the way we look at opportunities, we make decisions, the way we deal with rejection. All of those things are colored by this new identity.
Yeah. And I loved how you also pointed out during explanations is that it's like seamless process. It is like flowing. It's like pretty automatic. Like as soon as we see ourselves differently, new thoughts come up, new ideas, new impulses, new actions we take, new things that come to us, like this whole change of now you are open to maybe like hire someone and to have some people work for you and stuff like that, which in the old state, the old identity wasn't even possible, which is this whole topic that we talk also sometimes in the mastermind about. Instead of solving problems and being in the same room, in the same state, we want to go to the state, to the new identity where this problem no longer exists and where the solution is in, and then we come to new results and to new revenue incomes, of course. So
yes, definitely. It's definitely a practice. It's definitely being in that state where these problems don't exist. And in that one moment, there's relief from that problem you're facing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's also just a way of dealing with life where you can take some relief. You're having a difficult situation that you don't know the solution for. You're trying to figure out, should I go path A or path B? Or you just don't know what the answer is. You're just confused and stressed. When you remove yourself from that state and shift into the new state, you have an instant relief because in that new state, the problems don't exist.
Exactly.
And so now you're relaxed, your mind is clearer. From that place, a solution can arise. Like there's this famous quote from Einstein, it's been used so much.
Yep.
Yeah. You cannot solve a problem from the same place where it arose from, something along those lines. So
correct.
This is why this identity shift is so important, is you cannot solve your problems right now. You may think, use your rational mind as much as you want, do research and get information and things like that. We think it's the rational mind that will give you the answers, but you're still stuck in that problem mind state. And so that's why it's so critical to learn this way of being. And I'm still learning how to be more and more in that new identity of successful business owner, the calm, peaceful person, all those things that I want in my life to embody that from in a day-to-day
and would you
process.
Yeah. And would you say that along your way you also got more like clear, or you got new ideas, new impulses on who you want to be as a business owner? Because business can be like, it's super individual, right? Some people they love to manage like maybe a 10-person, 20-person, even 50-person, or even more than that team, have like a huge company. Other people say, I want to do this on my own. I want to make this and that per month and travel the world. And we all have this ideology and philosophy around business. And how does that look like for you? How has that changed for you along your journey?
It actually has, and it's it's really interesting because I have been so obsessed about web design. Doing the exercises in the mastermind have been eye-opening. There's this one module in which you ask us specific questions and lead us through this journey of figuring out what we want to be as a business owner. So whether you're starting out as a new business owner or you're already in business for yourself, this exercise is very helpful in getting clear in what that business life looks like. And yeah, I've got lots of details on how I want my business to be, how I want to be, things of that nature. So a lot of clarity has come from there. And I'm even working on a new business shift, shifting to a new business idea. So it's again being open to, for example, somebody is in a 9-to-5 job right now watching this and wants to create a new business. In that 9-to-5 business, 9-to-5 business, 9-to-5 employment, you have that desire to be a business owner, but you may not see a way to get started. Like there's so much involved in getting started. But as you get into the end state and see yourself as a business owner, you now have opened up a whole new opportunity. Like you've said in the mastermind, Nicholas, you tell us about anything you want is just a different room in the house. It's like going from the bedroom to the living room, from the living room to the kitchen. But we think it's like climbing a mountain. Like we make it really, really big in our mind. Like going from 9-to-5 to a business owner is like a massive change. But it's actually just going from one room to another. We may not know the exact path, but in our mind, we can just shift into that end state. So yes, I allowed now for a completely new business idea for me, where I'm doing more of what I want to do. I already love web design, but I want to share more of this way of being, the abundance mindset and visualization. So I'm creating a whole new business to do that, and that's because of this shift also, where again I'm open to new ideas and opportunities.
So great. Perfect. Really, really nice insights from you. Now, as I looked on the brainstormed topics that we came up with, I kind of noticed while we just were speaking that so much more was added, and we covered a lot of stuff. My question to you is, do you have any, like, let's imagine people listening until this point right now that are business owners. Maybe they started the business. Maybe they are at 2K, 5K, 10K a month. Doesn't even matter. Maybe they just feel, okay, I now got this business started, or I want to start a business, and I really want it also to be successful, right? I want to live from it. I want to be really free from it, like you also, and travel and have open space to do what I also want to do in this life. Are there tips? I always like to ask my interview guests on any final tips, any final advice that you would give to such a person spontaneously if you have something coming to you.
So many things you can do. First of all, allow for the possibility of change. Your mind is not static, right? It's not a concrete block. It's fluid. It's malleable. You can change it. That's also been proven by neuroscience, right? Neuroplasticity. So know that this is possible. You can change your life no matter where you are in your life, no matter what problems you're facing. You can change things, right? So number one. Second, Neville's teachings, especially coming through how Nicholas interprets it, and he presents it, you present it in a very clear, graspable manner, because some of the Neville's teachings can be very high concepts that, one doesn't easily grasp, but you have a way of bringing it down to the practical. So I would say watch Nicholas's videos on YouTube, go on a call with him, watch them, join the mastermind really, because this is the one. I would say I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on business training, almost like $35,000 or $40,000 in business training, business courses on marketing, online marketing, funnels, and this and that. But the revenue shifts that I've received in my business, the practical, actual increase in my business, has been because of this mastermind, which is really teaching you on how to change your mindset, to shift your mind, shift your consciousness really into the desired end goal that you want. So your every week, the collaborations, you know, they're just so important. Like I know a lot of the mastermind participants feel the same way, where every week we feel anchored, you know, rest of the week go about in everyday life. But once a week we come together live, you give us personal coaching. It's like one-to-one laser coaching on each of our individual situations. And then listening to the other members of the mastermind, we learn from each other as well. And we advise each other and we expand and change as well. In terms of other tips, I would say sometimes we need evidence to believe that this works. So I would recommend that practice these techniques and these teachings in small ways in your life.
Yeah.
And one example, do we have time? Can I give a couple of examples?
Definitely, please.
Yeah.
Please
So
share.
there's one example in the early phase. I think it was really just before I joined the mastermind, where I was watching your YouTube videos and I was like, how can I apply this to get instant confirmation that it works, right? So I have many cats, and one of them is a big, very independent cat, and he doesn't like to be picked up. So when he's outside the house and I want to bring him inside, anytime I go to grab him to carry him inside, he starts to, you know, paw at me, or he just doesn't like to be picked up. He's a very kind cat, but that's the one thing that he doesn't like. So I would always ask my husband, like, he's a big guy and he can just grab the cat and that's fine. But but when he's not around and I want to get the cat inside, I started to apply this very practically. I would go into the end state and the end state being my cat is already inside. That's it. You know, he's inside, all good. And I did that consecutively for, I think, 10 or 12 days when my husband wasn't around. And my Cabo is his name. Cabo would just walk inside the house whenever I wanted him to be in the house. It works,
Easy.
you know?
Easy work.
Yeah. So you can apply it for the little struggles that we have in our life, you know, like the car is not starting or the TV is not working. Like you can start applying this in your everyday life. And you can also apply it. Maybe you find it that it's challenging to apply it in your life because you're still in the training wheels, like you're still a beginner. Then apply it for a friend. And I did that as well. So there's this other story where my husband received a sponsorship for one of his events, and it was great. You know, we were really happy. It was like almost, I think, around 8,000 euros, something like this. But there were strings attached to this sponsorship. So that meant that he couldn't use all of this amount. He had to use half of the amount for a consulting agency and, you know, for ads and things like that. And it was like a lot of different strings attached to this whole sponsorship. So what I did was like, and this is in his agreement. So I knew that he would have loved to just have the 8K and just decide what he wanted to do with it in his business. So it's important that you only practice this for other people, knowing that this is what you would want for them, or they would want for themselves, right? Keep the golden rule.
The golden rule, yeah, exactly.
Yes. So I just visualized in my mind that there are no strings attached and he can use all the money he wants in his business. No, nothing complicated, you know, no like drama about emotion. And that's one other thing that you pointed out, Nicholas, is that it doesn't need to have like all of this emotion around your visualization. It could just be a very easygoing, this is how it is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then I let go, which just went about my life. And then one day, my husband tells me that he just was on the phone with the sponsoring party. And they said, we've decided that you can have the entire 8K. Do as you please.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's so these are the kind of things that deepens your understanding and your faith, and you like, oh, this really works. It's
Yes.
really, my reality is really influenced by my state of consciousness.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a long answer to your question, but
No, it's great.
those are some tips, like apply it.
You know why I love this so much? First of all, you pointed out what Neville also was always saying, which is be a doer of the word. I mean, not be a doer, do a lot of things, but be a doer of applying those inner movements, right? Those inner shifts, which you definitely are. And also this whole topic on like testing it, increasing your faith, super important, and having this law not just for one thing. You want to manipulate your reality and you have it for this one desire and then you stop. No, you can apply it for this, for that, for business, and also for other day-to-day things, for relationships, for health. And that's just the nice thing of this evergreen principle. And yeah, I love that you discovered it and now applied it, and in this case that you achieved your business success. So congrats again also from my side.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. It becomes a way of life, way of
Yes.
being.
Yes. I think that's a nice final word, right? That it's a way of life, a way of being. If there's nothing more that is coming to your mind spontaneously right now that you want to share, then from my side, I think that we covered good topics. Unless you have some really nice things you want to share, we have all the time in the world. So if there is something you want to give to, like the real golden nuggets at the end, then please feel free to do it.
Yes, I would say it creates so much calm and peace in your life when you start to practice. And it's really important. We can watch the videos all we want, we can read the books all we want, but if we're not applying it, we're missing out on a huge treasure, a huge opportunity to not only change your own life, but the environment around you, the people around you, the animals, the trees, even Mother Nature. Like you can make a real difference, not just for yourself. So it's really a huge gift to humanity when each one of us can use these teachings, and they're readily available. It's not a secret book. It's not a secret. It's not hidden away. You don't have to climb the Himalayas and meet some yogi, It's readily available, but don't discount the fact that it's readily available. It's actually right in the open, a golden treasure to access the abundance that you already have within you. Yes. So I would say that's my last little impulse, like, please take these teachings, take whatever you're learning, apply it, don't put it off. It's just takes an instant. You can get into the end state right now. While I'm speaking, you can get into the end state, right? Yep. So do it now. Be it now.
there is always this, those people that think, okay, I watch this video and then I know one missing key, and then I need to still watch this video. Maybe there's one missing key that I don't apply. But what we also always conclude in the mastermind is that the best investment that we can do, like you are doing it consciously, is in the here and now. What do I want? What's my desire? Is there something triggering me? Do I want more business revenue? And go into this identity, into this end state where you do have it, where you do art, where you view the world from being that, where you let other people see you, that you have achieved it, and then boom, you are living in the wish fulfilled here and now. And that's the best investment, instead of mindlessly watching more content or thinking that the solution is somewhere out there. Like Sophia just said, guys, it is within you here and now all the time. So our message to you is be it now. Don't say, tomorrow I will embody that, or in 2 weeks, or first I have to find out more stuff. No, be that successful business owner right now. If you want to hang out with me, with Sophia, with some other members, and this talk is interesting for you, you can schedule a call with me. We can see if we are a good fit. And if you're not sure about what this mastermind is, I'm sure you saw this mastermind explanation video, right, Sophia? Have you seen this before you scheduled the call? Yes. Or did you instantly schedule the call?
I saw the Mastermind explanation video, 20 minutes or so of just you walking us through what's in the Mastermind. And yeah, come join us.
Join us right now.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, if business success is important to you, if you see that nothing's really moving forward and you have tried a lot of things, then just check out the video and first of all see if what I'm sharing there is resonating. If yes, cool, then we can talk, and if no, it's also fine. Right? So Sophia, thank you so much again for coming on. This was an amazing interview, and have a nice day. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Nicholas.
You. Yep.
Bye for now.
All right, guys. So we're back right now because something really interesting happened after me and Sophia ended our interview right now. We just got in a little conversation. We chatted about manifesting, Neville's teachings, business success, and then two things we forgot. Now, the first thing is that Sophia would like to share where you can connect with her, meaning if you like what Sophia shared, her way of explaining things, and you would like to connect with her, maybe get her help, then she has also something that she can help you with. And also after that, Sophia, would be really nice if, again, you share this other approach you did to also manifest business success, because this is something that should be put out there.
Yes, thank you for asking that, Nicholas. So the first thing that I want to share is, as you can tell from this interview, I am bubbling with contentment, and I want to share all that I have learned because I want everyone to be able to apply it in their lives and feel that same success and more. So I've created a free masterclass where I'm sharing more of these tips and success anecdotes with you. If you would like to experience that, you can go to abundancethroughvisualization.com/masterclass. And I also have a very, very new YouTube channel where you can learn some new things as well. By the time you see this, there'll be more content on there. It's Abundance Through Visualization. So youtube.com/abundance-through-visualization.
I will link those links in the video description, guys, so that you can find them right now underneath the video.
And I was giggling so much earlier because I told Nicholas that this interview is something I also visualized and manifested. But I just didn't think it would happen so fast, you know. I was visualizing that Nicholas is inviting me to come on and do this interview of my business success. This was some weeks ago. And then I was not even putting a time frame on it, maybe, 6 months or a year. Yeah. But within a few weeks, I get a message from you, Nicholas, and I'm sitting there in my living room with a big smile. And my husband is like, "Why are you smiling so much?" And like, this really works. I was just visualizing another facet of my business success is that Nicholas is interviewing me. And here we are in this interview. So
right. No, it was really good that we turned on again the recording, that people get those messages. That's another nice way, because that also implied to you that you had business success, right? Me and you doing an interview together. And so it's also a great scene, a great emotional act.
Yes, so that just goes to say that you can also visualize very specific things. You can visualize a broad general sense of peace and calm and success, but also you can visualize very specific end results that you're going for. So
yeah, perfect. All right, guys. With that, now we round it up a second time. So see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Thanks, Sophia, again.
Thank you.